Hey everyone, welcome to this video tutorial. Today we are practicing how to decode and attempt the 10-mark outline and explain. The examples are going to be from the family. There's also a cheeky handout that I've put below so you can fill it in as we go through. Massive thank you for choosing this video, and if you like what you see, click that like button. Want to see more, subscribe, and if you have something to say, drop me a comment because I will reply. So just a cheeky reminder about what the 10 marker outline and explain is. It is a 10 marker that you have got 15 minutes to answer, 7.5 minutes per paragraph, 2 balanced paragraphs. You don't need an intro or conclusion. And it'll always ask you for something like reasons or ways, effects or problems, strengths or weaknesses of a particular idea, a view, a theory, a method. And also make sure you look for the question hooks, as this question will require you to make a link between the two. These appear on theory and method, paper 1 and paper 3, and as part of your topics on paper 2. So here's a basic generic mark scheme so you can see exactly what you need to do. And just looking at the top band, you need to have good knowledge and understanding. That's shown through keywords and concepts which are relevant, any specialist terms that might be explained to show understanding. There'll also be 2 applications of the relevant material, and this is what we're going to be doing in this video tutorial. So making sure that you are linking it to the question, and lastly, making sure you've got that appropriate analysis. So reading the question carefully is an important part of exam skills, especially with the 10 marker outline and explain. So for each of the family questions that we're going to go through, identify the 2 parts of the question. In each, apply the knowledge for each and then show the link between the 2. Now you can pause this video to have a go first and then check your answers. As you can see on the handout, you'll be writing an example sentence to practice the showing of application of ideas. This is not going to be a full paragraph. In the exam, you will be expected to write in more detail. So let's start off with example number 1. Outline and explain 2 functions of the family that reproduce capitalism. So I want you to start off by highlighting the trigger words, and that will allow you to identify the 2 parts of the question that you've got to show application or a link between the 2. Okay, so with this one, your part A is going to be your functions of the family, and in part B is reproduce capitalism. And what I want you to do is start off by writing what you know in part A and what you know in part B, and then join back in to check what you have written. So looking at that question, you can identify that this is looking for Marxist functions. Okay, so we've got things like reproducing capitalism, socializing or the ideological function, the economic unit of consumption, could be a safety valve, or it could be inheritance of property. Now what about part B then? So your part B is, how is it reproducing capitalism? So is it maintaining and legitimising it? And legitimising that class inequality. Okay, so you can show a bit of knowledge about what capitalism is, where the wealthy stay rich and the working class stay working class, or is it avoiding revolution? Now tip number 1, to gain the application marks, you must refer to both parts in your example sentence. Okay, so your sentence is going to start off from the part A, and you're going to tell me then how is it going to result with the part B to reproduce capitalism. So let's have a look. Here's my sentence. So one of the main functions of the family is to act as part of the ideological state apparatus. Lovely early identification of a key word there, AO1. And it performs this ideological function by socialising children that there's somebody in charge. In the family, this is obeying the father, which is similar in the workplace where you would obey your boss. And now here's your application. It's reproducing capitalism as it avoids the workers challenging their bosses. Rather, they are passively accepting the authority because they have been socialised to do so. There's your cheeky link back to the part A, which then prevents a revolution. So hopefully you have got a lovely example sentence before we move on to our next example. So example number 2, we're going to do exactly the same. Identify the part A and the part B and write what you know in each box. Outline and explain 2 ways in which a change in gender roles, so there's your part A, has impacted the birth rate. So when you're ready, pause and join back in once you've filled those 2 boxes in. So possible changes in gender roles that you could have talked about could be segregated conjugal roles have now become joint conjugal roles. We have gone from this traditional nuclear family where there's the instrumental and the expressive role. It has now become more of a symmetrical family where you have got sharing of paid work, employment, housework and so on. And how might it have impacted the birth rate? Well, we're starting to see a decline in birth rate because there are fewer babies being born, and this could be possibly because women are delaying having children, so they have fewer within their fertility, or they might be choosing not to have children at all. So here's tip number 2. So as you can see here, you're putting as many ideas down that you could possibly write about. And this could be part of your mini plan when you are preparing to answer a question like this. Then you can choose the ideas that you know most about. So let's have a look at an example sentence to show the application between part A and part B. One way there has been a change in gender roles is the rise of joint conjugal roles, with women entering the workforce, which has resulted in both partners working. As women are now focusing on a career, this means they delay having children, and as a result they have fewer due to a smaller fertility window, which has resulted in a decline in birth rate. Now, with this example, there is actually quite a lot to unpack with a question like this. So you could actually go down lots of different avenues as a shift in the change in gender roles having an impact on birth rate. Ready for your final example? So outline and explain 2 policies that may affect family diversity. So your part A is your policies and your part B is family diversity. You write in as much as you know in each, so then you can identify which bits you're going to steal for your example sentence. So possible policies, and we know this is a family question, so we want ones that will impact the family, whether directly or indirectly. We've got Child Benefits, Equal Pay Act, welfare benefits. We've also got the Divorce Reform Act, Civil Partnership. There is quite a few that you could choose from. I've just listed some there off the top of my head. What about the part B? So how is it going to affect family diversity? So what do we know about family diversity? So there could be lone parents, there could be same-sex couples, families choosing to cohabitate, so not get married, people choosing to remain single or have a reconstituted or step families. So do the same again, think about which ones you know most about and do that example sentence. So here's your final example sentence. The Divorce Reform Act in 1969 came into effect around about 1971, and this included the irretrievable breakdown, meant that women could leave an unhappy marriage, accompanied with women in the workplace could become self-reliant, has led to a rise in female-headed lone parents. So basically they can leave unhappy marriages with their children, and then they are self-sufficient, they are independent, that they can cope on their own. So final tip, if you don't make the link between the 2 parts of the question, you are going to limit your marks. For example, if you only write about part A, for example, the benefits or the policies, and you don't make the link to family diversity, or you don't do it enough, then you will be unable to achieve higher than 3 marks. Some final pointers. Overall, when answering a 10-mark outline and explain, remember to show AO1 knowledge of both parts of the question, making sure that you are showing how part A links or affects part B to get the AO2 marks, and then offer a further explanation or detail, analytical point, AO3 to end. Thank you for watching as always. If you have found it useful, please click that like. Any questions or comments, pop them below and check out some of the other videos that I have, such as how to structure a 20-mark question, and the link is below. Have a lovely day and we shall see you again soon. Bye.